Hi, everybody. Welcome to the episode of In the School Parking Lot. I'm your host. I'm Paul Everts. You can reach my email address, and I wish you would. It's BAND, the number 2, bandtogether, Comcast.net. Also, go to our handy dandy website, which is Conducting My Life. Boom. You can buy the book. I had a friend, Bob, just buy one the other day. Really, I'm not lying. So get the book. It's really good. Today, I'm recording this on the 24th of June. You are seeing it around July 27th. So keep that in perspective just in case the story changes or whatever. But this is episode 21, July 27th, 2024. Just a quick 10-15 second. I'm a teacher. Been teaching since 1989. I was told by the principal, April 2021. Principal said, "Hey, Paul, gotta keep Jesus in the parking lot." No. And then he said, then he goes from principal to HR director and he says, "Hey, guess what? You can't tell your students I love you anymore. You got gray hair. It's kind of weird that you'd actually say to your students, I love you." You sat there and said nothing. And then he said, "I don't care about your First Amendment right. You can't use social media. Don't use it." And I just said, well, then I'm going to retire early. So we did. We have a Venmo account. We'll hope that you would go to the Venmo account and give us $1 or $2. We really appreciate your support. We're just a mom and pop shop. That's a 90-second introduction. Here we go, episode 21, the 27th of July. Clark County School District has guidelines to keep gender identity of students hidden from parents. So it's not just happening in California. It's going nationwide. Clark County School District, Nevada, June 17, 2024. Parents Defending Education submitted a public records request to the Clark County School District seeking any guidance that the district has regarding transgender issues. The district provided PDE, which is Parents Defending Education, with several documents, including one titled, quote, Gender Support Plan Checklist. This document explicitly states that the gender identity of students can be hidden from parents. Can be hidden from parents. The document states, quote, if the student does not want to notify their parents, guardians, or if their parents and guardians are not in agreement, it is imperative that the student work with the school counselor to build a communication bridge between the student and the parents' guardians. End of quote. The document does explain that, quote, no changes to a student's pronoun usage, gender marker, or name can be made without parental approval, end of quote. Cool. However, the document states, quote, no staff members should relay the student's gender identity to the parents, guardians, if the student has not approved. Parents Defending Education also received a gender support plan for students. The plan asks for a student's, quote, sex assigned at birth, end of quote, and then, quote, gender identity. The district provided Parents Defending Education with a presentation that appeared to be training for the staff titled, Addressing the Rights and Needs of Students with Diverse Gender Identities and Expressions. This presentation reiterates, quote, always speak with the student first to determine if the student's parents and guardians are aware and in agreement with the requested changes to their student's gender marker and name, end of quote. The presentation then adds, quote, if the student has not granted permission to contact their parents and guardians, staff members must not contact the parents, guardians to inform them of their student's gender identity or expression choices, end of quote. The presentation also includes 4 scenarios of situations with students identifying as transgender. One scenario specifically references a student who does not want parents knowing. This scenario asks, what occurs if the parent guardian does not support the student's request? The next question then asks, what should the school do to support the student? The district also provided PDE, Parents Defending Education, with the script of the presentation. The script further emphasizes that parents can be left in the dark. The rest of the article is in the description Totally against that. Totally against that. Parents have the rights to know what's going on with their children. I will say it again. As of June 24th, 2024, I have asked my colleagues, who are very quiet to me right now, which that hurts a little bit, but I understand. I've asked my colleagues, you have children in school. Your colleagues don't tell you that this is happening with your child. You're okay with that. Wow. I'm not. I wouldn't be. I'd be very upset. I'd be very mad that my colleagues are keeping these secrets about my children. But again, the teacher's been very quiet. So, working out of this book, I don't read word for word the chapters because I don't want to get in trouble, but I am promoting this book though. I don't get any pay for it, but Crimes of the Educators is a great book. Wish you'd read it. You're not going to see this at UC fill in the blank or CSU fill in the blank. Frankly, very many colleges that have education as a major. And it's just not going to. It's just too bad. I think it would be really cool for the young teachers to say, this is what some people think of you. How are you going to handle that? The Great American Math Disaster. When Newton or Gauss, Gauss, explored mathematics that unlocked mysteries of the universe, their intent was to empower and maybe inspire humanity, not to create tools of torture for high school or college students. Salman Khan, founder of Khan Academy, the One World Schoolhouse, 2012. One of the reasons why so many Americans are confused about the large numbers being tossed around by our leaders in Washington these days is because of how poorly they were taught mathematics in public schools. They find figures in the millions, billions, and trillions almost impossible to visualize as anything more than just strings of numbers. Most Americans can barely deal with thousands, let alone trillions. The basic problem is that American children are no longer being taught arithmetic in public schools. They are taught math, which includes more than our simple counting system. Arithmetic deals with quantity. Math deals with relationships and uses complex symbols. When you submerge arithmetic in mathematics without making sure that the children have mastered their counting skills, you get math failure. So, and this is nothing new. Back in 1991, Pat Wingert, W-I-N-G-E-R-T, Pat Wingert of Newsweek magazine reported the following. How bad are 8th graders' math skills in 1991? So bad that half are scoring just above the proficiency level expected of 5th grade students. Even the best students did miserably. At the top scoring schools, the average was well below grade level. This is 1991. Hardly any students have the background to go beyond simple computation. Most of those kids can add, but they have serious trouble thinking through simple problems. Again, that's 1991. What's really frightening about these results is that the alarm has been ringing since the 1983 publication of A Nation at Risk, the federally sponsored study that highlighted vast problems in public schools. So that's now 40 years ago. Yet, despite years of talk about reform and genuine efforts of change in a few places, American students are still not making the grade and remain behind their counterparts in other industrialized nations. Okay, so I don't want to bore you. Another highlight would be very few of us all will need to use algebra, geometry, trigonometry, or calculus, but all of us will need to use arithmetic in doing tax returns, figuring out mortgages, balancing our checking accounts, using credit cards, making change and planning our retirement. So if everyone must use arithmetic in order to survive economically, why don't schools teach it? That's a good question. Last paragraph. So why don't our schools teach everyone basic arithmetic? Answer. Because the dumbing down agenda also covers math. It is easier for government and politicians to steal from the public when they cannot add things up. That's it for today. We are a mom and pop shop. If you would like to support us, we have a Venmo account in the description. We would really appreciate it, and frankly, we need it. We're like anybody else that's early retirement. And subscribe, share, help the algorithm, free speech. Okay, God bless you. Thank you for watching. Next week, hope to see you. Bye.